So welcome along to another edition of Isolation Interviews for Hospital Radio and my YouTube channel. And I'm super excited to be joined by the super talented Tony Hadley. Thank you, Tony, for joining me.
Super talented. Thank you for that. Yeah, you do your best, don't you? You do your best over the years, and you try to keep getting better at it all the time, which is, I suppose, what I'm always. I mean, the thing is with most artists that you're never really satisfied. It's a real problem actually, because you no sooner you've finished an album or you've finished a project, you're looking to the next horizon. Can I get it better? So but thank you for that lovely introduction.
That's all right, not a problem. Now, obviously, at the moment, life has been completely turned up on its head. I mean, the last time we saw each other was last year. We met up at the BBC in Oxford and recorded an interview. Obviously, since then, life has completely changed. I mean, first of all, how have you coped with lockdown? How have you found life, as with the new norm?
Well, I mean, we're really lucky. We live in beautiful part of Buckinghamshire, so we're surrounded by farmland, really, and lovely little quaint villages and stuff. So, so to get that kind of sense of freedom and go out for a walk and everything was fairly easy. Difficult for the kids not being at school, not seeing their friends. But compared to a lot of people, we've had it easy. You know, we've got friends and family who've been on the front line when it was really severe in the ICUs, and that was really tough for a lot of those people there. Really heartbreaking, and also I think the isolation thing and the mental health issues that have arisen from this COVID thing are really, really serious, because we're not really meant to be isolated. We're not human beings. We're not good at that. I'm not good at that. So thank God I've had Ali and my two youngest, Zara and Genevieve, but, massively miss my three big kids, Tom, Tony and Matt, down in London, my mum and stuff, and the rest of the family. So, but you cope as well as you can. But I think for some people in the inner cities and stuff like that, I think it's been dreadful. I mean, absolutely dreadful.
I mean, I know a lot of people have, over the course of lockdown, have either learnt new skills or, taken time to reconnect with people they've lost contact with. I mean, how did you find kind of early lockdown, and as we're easing out? I mean, have you learnt any new skills, or have you sort of connected with people you've lost touch with?
I know what I'm not good at. That's homeschooling. I'm not very good at maths anyway. And my little 8-year-old said, "Daddy, they don't do it like that anymore." I was like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help them. The history, geography, science, I'm okay. But when it comes to maths, I'll let Ali do that." I don't know. I have to say, I haven't learnt a skill or anything. I'm a bit of a funny fella, really. I'm not into games. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I just, music's my life. That's my hobby that I'm lucky enough to have been paid for over the last 40 years and got away with it. So, So, I mean, what I suppose we've done, I suppose what I've done, lots of stuff around, bits around the house and things, and trying to, I don't know, keep the garden looking okay and stuff like that. But it's I think from my point of view, it's been relatively easy. I think there were a couple of times when, certainly when the girls were missing their friends so much, and that was kind of tough. But you pull together. I thought the Thursday shout outs for the NHS were brilliant, and one of the lovely things to come out of the whole COVID thing is that as a village we all went out on a Thursday, pots and pans, and Terry, our neighbour, would get his big trumpet out and stuff, and we'd all have a beer and a glass of wine, and it really brought the village together. And then our village pub reopened again, and hallelujah, it was like reborn.
I mean, that's the thing is, obviously, I think that as a nation, as a country, we really have come together with our NHS, who have been fantastic throughout the whole pandemic. And would you say that it's kind of given you a newfound respect for them? I mean, I know we hate to admit it, but there was a bit of time when we maybe kind of took them for granted a bit. So do you think we've kind of got a newfound respect for them, would you say?
Well, I mean, from a personal point of view, I've always had the utmost respect for anyone that works. I mean, before I ever became a singer and a professional singer, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a surgeon. So there's a lot of people that breathe a sigh of relief to that. and Tony Hadley, the singing surgeon. Yeah, so I've always been fascinated by biology and science, and you know, this annoys me sometimes because about the level of criticism that is lobbied against the NHS. I have to say, from my own personal experience throughout the years with all my children and family and everything, the best care that I can't fault it. I cannot fault it. You know, our little girl was born in our last child number 5, born in Stoke Mandeville there, and and there was a complication just at the last minute, and the staff, you know, the buzzer went, the staff were in, and if it hadn't been for them, I don't know what would have happened. And likewise, different events that have happened with the family and the NHS have always been there for us. So I take my hat off to them, I really do.
Now, we must obviously, talk about the music and everything. I mean, how have you found you've still been able to kind of work from home, or did you find kind of you lost all sort of motivation? I mean, how has it been for you?
It's sometimes you got your mojo and other times you haven't. It's a really weird thing. There are times when you kind of every day just becomes the same day. Like, was it Sunday yesterday? I don't know. Monday today? It's kind of, it's sort of, especially when the kids weren't at school, every day sort of rolled in, and you couldn't be with the people you love and your friends and family. So, yeah, there's some days I'd feel really, really motivated. Right, I'm going to write some lyrics today. I'm going to check out all the tunes I've got, all the ideas I've got on tape and stuff. And I mean, I was lucky because we had the single Obvious, which came out. And we filmed it literally just in the back there with my daughter helping me, Zara. So that was great. And then, that was all put together by Paul Green, which was amazing. So in fact, I've been doing a lot of sort of promotion for that, plus lots of charity songs that I was doing both for NHS, cancer trusts. I'm a patron and vice president of a few charities. So there was always stuff to do. I was doing a Sunday night shout out, singing a song, a favourite song of mine. So I was actually, when you think about it, I actually kept myself pretty busy. My wife wouldn't let me go to the supermarket though. She said, "You're liable."
Now, I just wanted to say with the single Obvious, I mean, we've played it a number of times on Hospital Radio Reading. It's such a great song. I mean, where did the kind of inspiration for that song come from?
Well, myself and Mick Lister wrote it. He lives literally just up the road. And it was just, we wanted something that was going to be fun and summery. And it wasn't, COVID hadn't even happened. But, I do a lot of festivals and you see people jumping together and there's a lot of love in the air and stuff. And it's primarily a love song. It's, it's how you feel about your partner, wife, whatever. But it's also that anthemic thing of playing to an audience. Me and you are meant to be together forever. And that's why in the video, we had people kind of jumping about at raves and stuff like that and showing people being together at a time when we can't be together. And when you watch the video, I think that makes the song make complete sense at this present time. So, yeah, so really good. So it was just one of 2 songs that I literally got the vocal recorded just before we went down, just before I went on tour, and then we got back from America and then we were locked down. So I've got the rest of the album to finish.
So, I mean, in terms of the album, I mean, I know you probably can't talk too much about it, but kind of where have you drawn inspiration from for the new album? And sort of, where is the sound sort of similar to Obvious? I mean, where have you taken it?
Obvious is probably one of the most kind of poppy, because it's kind of a bit funk pop, if you like. We've got other songs. We've got a lovely, beautiful lullaby. I wanted to write a lullaby about Genevieve, my youngest. And I've always been a big sucker for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I love Hushabye Mountain. So we wrote this beautiful song. But then there's other songs. There's a song called Alibi, which is about someone cheating and really, really nice. It's a very anthemic song. Reminds me a little bit of The Verve, actually, which is no bad thing. And then a song called Because of You. There's stacks of others. They're all quite big anthemic songs because we do a lot of festivals. So I draw quite a lot of vibe from performing in front of those great big party crowds. So there's some big tunes there. Yeah, Mad About You. That's that's a cracking song, that is, as well.
And
Yeah,
I imagine,
I'm excited. Yeah.
and I imagine that obviously with everything that's going on, I mean, do you know roughly when it will be released, or is it just, you know, sort of?
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, we were meant to do the because it's my 40th anniversary. So unbelievably, I've been doing this for 40 years. And it was going to be 2021. It's now been moved to 2022, and that's when the album's going to be released as well. And it's not really until we can all be together properly in the studio. We've got to. Funny enough, I was just talking to our bass player P-Dub on the way over, Phil Williams, and we got a really cool couple of tracks that we've written with the band all together in the studio. So we're going to finish them off as well as soon as we can. It's as soon as we can.
And of course, the other big thing is, you know, just getting back out to a live audience. I mean, for you, I imagine, I know, you know, a lot of people are trialing social distance audiences, but I imagine you just want to get back to perform to a crowd. So, for you, I imagine you're just counting down the days to be able to properly perform.
It's very frustrating. I mean, you do music because you love it. And if you get to that point with music where you don't enjoy it anymore, then get out. You know, I still love touring. I love being on the tour bus. The fabulous TH band, we're all great mates. All the crew, some of them have been with me for 20, 25 years. So we're a big kind of, I know it sounds like a cliche, but a kind of, you know, family. Our children know each other. And we're all desperately want to get back. And I mean, I even offered to play. I said to Richie B, our guitar, I said, how do you fancy just popping down? We'll do a little acoustic thing in the pub. And the pub said, no, you can't do that because if people start getting together, we get too many people. Okay. And then, well, what about going to play at the school? No, they're not allowed anybody on because we thought we played for the kids and the teachers, just an acoustic thing. And they said, no, you can't do that because you have to have a special pass to go on the school. So I did do a show about 3 weeks ago, acoustically, in Salsa Maggiore in Italy, a place between Bologna and Milan. And that worked. That really worked. So we had basically 3 chairs, 1, 2, 3, but the middle seat all the way up the park was empty. Then a big gap, then 1, 2, 3, middle seat empty. So you lost a lot of seats, but it was just so good to play. I cannot tell you. And if you see me in the car driving along, you'll invariably see me shouting and screaming and singing at the top of my voice, making really bad, funny contortions with my face. And, so you've got to keep your chops up. And my voice felt good. And the atmosphere was fantastic. They couldn't stand up or anything like that, but they were so pleased that we were there, and we were just pleased to be there. So, and then of course you go for your obligatory fantastic Italian food after the show, and grappa, beautiful wines. Yeah, brilliant.
And I imagine, obviously, you know, social media is great because you can keep in contact with the fans and, you know, hear from them. Because obviously you can't see them, so it must be nice to still be able to keep contact with people.
Yeah, I mean, that was particularly brilliant. I mean, we were so, I can't tell you how happy we were. What's kind of cool is when I do the BBC Three Counties radio show on a Sunday morning, we get lots of texts coming in from people and messages, and the fans have just been great. And some of them have been through hard times, as a lot of people around the country have. But they're so keen and eager for us to get back on the road again. And when it does, and we'll get back. And we'll all be able to hug and kiss each other and stuff. And a bit like the obvious, we were meant to be together, and we're not meant to be apart. It's not in our DNA, really.
Now, obviously, you know, like life, you know, no one knows how long it will continue on for. But obviously, you know, getting back to a form of norm next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. Obviously, you know, you'll be getting back to performing. And is there something above everything else that you're just looking forward to being able to do that obviously at the moment we can't? Is there kind of one dream, as it were?
Go on holiday. Yeah, so I had so many plans because it was going to be the 40th anniversary, and I was very kindly awarded an MBE as well. And I don't know why that's gone there, but you know, and I was going to have celebrate my 60th birthday. So I was going to have sort of, you know, family get-togethers, village get-togethers. Didn't want a party. You know, all my pals in London will have a meal together and stuff. And yeah, I'm very, very lucky, and I know I am. But so we were going to do a little bit of celebrating, and obviously 40 years in the business was going to be a big celebration. But I do love a holiday, I have to say. And so we couldn't go on holiday with the kids. I love doing a bit of snorkeling with the girls and just being together really and being somewhere different, sampling different types of food and stuff like that. But hey, in the great scheme of things, hey, first world problems,
Now, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure talking. But before we go, is there any messages you'd like to give to anyone who is listening in hospital at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, just, listen, you get the best support and the best care. The NHS is an amazing, amazing institution. It really is. I spent a lot of time in America and a lot of time in other countries. And trust me, don't complain. Really never complain, because we are absolutely blessed with our hospitals and facilities and the doctors and nurses and all the carers and everything else. So just get well soon and make a speedy recovery, and and thank the people that are looking after you as well. That's really important.
Now, I just want to say, Tony, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you again for giving up your time. Of course, keep safe, and yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah, and everybody out there, keep safe, and we will get through it. We will hug and kiss each other again. Take care.